into the conversation a little later in the presentation, okay?
Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. Once again, we are continuing with week 4 of our Life After AEP webinar series, and we are super glad that you joined us. We've got a great presentation for you today featuring the Mutual of Omaha product line. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. We've got also a producer out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who's joining us today. Her name is Rebecca. She's got some great insight as to how she is using the Mutual of Omaha product and Mutual of Omaha branding and Mutual of Omaha name to conduct a ton of business. In fact, when we ran some reports, this individual producer out of Tulsa, Oklahoma is just absolutely killing it out there. So we wanted to make sure that you, our business partners, had an opportunity to get a feel for some insight as to how she's doing it. So we're looking forward to a really great presentation. We're going to fly through a ton of information. Mutual of Omaha is one of our premier partners, and we've had a 35-year relationship with Mutual of Omaha that has produced just absolute truckloads of business, and we continue to do a ton of business with Mutual of Omaha. We'll continue to do a ton of business with Mutual of Omaha. So we encourage you guys to sort of, participate in the windfall. We're glad you joined us, and we're going to go ahead and just get, jumping right into things. Jeremy Grantham is our national sales director for Mutual of Omaha, and he is in charge of their life insurance distribution with the AmeriLife Marketing Group. So he has been gracious enough to join us today and represent the Mutual of Omaha, United of Omaha life insurance products. So we're going to do a little bit of a look at the Living Promise product, and then we're going to dig in and see if we can take a look at some of the term life product features and just cover a little bit of the Express product and maybe just chat about the term life answers real quick. Jeremy has been really great to me. He's invited me out to Mutual of Omaha's headquarters in Omaha, Nebraska a few times, right around the College World Series time. And as you may or may not know, I am a baseball guy through and through. Both of my boys are baseball players, so I really appreciate that opportunity to participate in such a great program and learn what it is about Mutual of Omaha that's so great. He's going to share that insight with us today, so all of you can enjoy it, and then we'll get on to asking questions at the end. We've also got a really great prize today, and it's sort of a raffle drawing where all of the participants who are participating all the way through our webinar will go into a raffle. We will draw a winner, and we're going to give away a beautiful full-size Yeti cooler for the winner of that drawing. So Jeremy, thank you for that. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up for week 5 of the webinar series, week 5 of our 6-week program. So Jeremy, are you out there?
Absolutely, ready to go.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll let you kind of take it over from here, and then we'll move on to pulling Rebecca into the conversation a little bit later. So stick around, Rebecca. We'll get to you in just a little bit. Thanks, Jeremy. Jump on in.
Perfect. Thanks, David. Yeah. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Life After AEP session. Again, let me see here. All right. Had to get a little technical things working there. Again, my name is Jeremy Grantham. I'm a sales director here at Mutual of Omaha, and I specialize in our life insurance portfolio. I've been with Mutual of Omaha for almost 12 years and have experience in both brokerage sales and direct-to-consumer marketing. And as discussed today, we will be talking about 2 of our many life insurance products, which first one is Living Promise, which is our final expense whole life product, And the second one is our Term Life Express product, and that's just a simplified issue term product that has some great features available for your customers. And as David stated as well, as an added bonus, one lucky participant will be drawn to win a Yeti Roadie 20 cooler, which is pictured there. So with that, let's get started. Okay, first off, I would like to talk about, to begin with, why Mutual of Omaha. And for more than a century, Mutual of Omaha has been committed to listening to our customers and helping them through life's transitions by providing an array of insurance, financial, and banking products. Okay, when it comes to protecting your client's financial futures, you guys deserve to work with a name that you can trust. Our history demonstrates that our continued growth and success as a company that customers can really depend on. Here at Mutual of Omaha, we are very proud of our solid financial status, and as you can see on the screen here, it's reinforced by the strong marks that we get from leading rating agencies. Okay, just a little bit. You hear me talking Mutual of Omaha. You hear us see United of Omaha up there. Just so everybody understands that difference there, our life insurance products are underwritten by United of Omaha Life Insurance Company. United of Omaha is a wholly owned subsidiary of Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company. United was chartered in 1926 and has provided insurance and annuity products for over 90 years now. So definitely still a strong, stable, secure company name, just part of the Mutual of Omaha family of products there. Okay, so we'll jump on into the Living Promise, which is again our final expense insurance. And what does it offer to your clients? Living Promise is designed to help provide affordable protection that pays benefits directly to the chosen beneficiary, and that can take care of any outstanding medical bills, unexpected expenses, or any debt that may be left behind. It also offers competitive premiums that it's going to fit many of your clients' budgets. The underwriting is very easy. There's no medical exam. Their coverage is based on the answers, just a few simple health questions. And again, we have a very strong brand that lets your clients know they are dealing with a top-rated insurance company that's strong, stable, and secure. Okay. All right. Living Promise also, it provides two plans that are available to your customers. And we have the level benefit plan, and we have our graded benefit plan. As previously stated, the answers to just a few simple health questions will help you determine as to which benefit plan they'll be eligible for. Our level benefit plan is available for ages 45 to 85 in face amounts from $2,000 to $40,000. With the level benefit plan, there are two riders that are currently available, the accidental death benefit rider and the accelerated death benefit rider. And I'll cover a little bit about more of those details in a bit in the presentation. With the level plan, the full death benefit is available in any policy year. Our graded plan is available for ages 45 to 80 in face amounts from $2,000 to $20,000. The rates are single class, and there's no additional riders available with this plan. With the graded benefit plan, the death benefit is reduced in the first 2 years and will be 110% of premiums paid if death occurs from natural causes. Once you're in the application, they'll help determine which product is going to be written in that situation. Okay, and so the application has two parts to our underwriting questions. These are the questions that will determine that availability between the level and graded plan. Questions in part one will determine if they're available for any coverage. So basically, if your customer answers yes to any of the questions in part one of the underwriting, it's a knockout. They're not eligible for either the level or the benefit plan. If all questions in part one are answered no, then you move on to the part two questions, and those will determine if eligibility for the level or the graded. If all questions in part two are answered no, the applicant's eligible, and you can submit the application to us for the level side of the policy. If you get a yes in part two of the underwriting questions, that's when you know that that applicant's going to be eligible for our graded benefit plan. All right, eligibility other than those age and health questions is quite simple. The applicant just has to be a legal resident of the United States. Our express underwriting requirements for this product, again, very quick and easy. We run a medical information bureau check, we look at the bill chart, we run a pharmaceutical check, and then we conduct random interviews or for-cause interviews. Random interviews are just every 10 applications that come in the door. We just call to make sure that everything's as is in the application. And then a for-cause interview would simply be if health situation was answered one certain way, and we find something contradicting that in the MIB farm check that we run. So we'll just do a quick call to the customer directly to solve any of those discrepancies if they come around.
Hey, Jeremy,
Yes.
before we continue, I just want to remind everybody that if a question pops into your mind and it's something that you want to make sure that you ask, don't wait to enter your question into the chat window. Go ahead and enter it in as you think of it. The last thing we want is to get to the end of the webinar and then realize suddenly that you've forgotten what the question is. So let's get those loaded in as you think of them, and then at the end we'll have Kaylee, our moderator, read them and we'll go over them. Okay?
Right. Perfect. Yeah. No problem. Yes. Yeah. Please ask away. We want to give you as much information as we can while we have you here. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the riders that were discussed with this program. Our first rider that we have is the Accelerated Death Benefit Rider. This rider is automatically added to all level benefit policies. This rider allows the owner a one-time election to receive the accelerated benefit if the insured is either A, diagnosed with a terminal illness that with a reasonable degree of certainty will result in the insured's death within 12 months or less, the terminal illness side, or B, has been confined to a nursing home for 90 consecutive days or more and is expected to remain in that nursing home for the duration of their life. In this example, you see here, if the customer has either of those, they can accelerate for terminal illness on a $10,000 face amount. Their accelerated benefit would be $9,300. The policy would then cease and end, and that would be it. If it's nursing home confinement, it's an actuarial table that kind of determines that. In this situation, a $10,000 face amount in year 20, policy year 20 would be $7,900. Now, I think we all know a final expense type policy probably isn't going to last 20 years, so it's probably going to be a smaller amount. But the good news about it is something that the customer can use while they're living if they do get in this situation and just happen to need some money. At that point in time, accelerated benefit may actually be better than their death benefit to the actual insured. So again, we just give them flexibility to choose whether they want to keep it as a death benefit or accelerate it if those two scenarios happen. And then again, in Florida, we do not have the nursing home confinement. That rider just is terminal illness and chronic illness with that. And in Connecticut, it's terminal illness only. There is no nursing home confinement there as well. Okay, jumped ahead one more. Okay, the second rider is our accidental death benefit rider. This rider is not part of the base policy, but it can be added with just a little bit of additional premium. This rider, again, provides an additional death benefit equal to the policy's face amount if the death of the insured results from an accidental bodily injury that's independent of any sickness or all other causes. So kind of like adding a simple AD policy on for the same face amount that they're buying for the Living Promise level side. All right, now we can take a quick look at some rates and how this rates out for your customers. As stated before, it's going to fit many of your clients' budgets. A male age 60, non-tobacco, $10,000. You'll see if they qualify for that level benefit, it's just going to be $42.76 a month. They add that accidental death rider that doubles that face amount if they die due to an accident, and it's only $45.65 a month. Again, just a few dollars extra there adds that additional coverage. If unfortunately they drop to the graded benefit side, that's when it's going to be the $74.63 for that male. Females follow that same pattern, level benefit $32.87 with the AD rider $35.76, and that graded again $53.49. One thing I will kind of point out when we're looking at rates and we're talking the level benefit versus the graded is a lot of times, you're obviously going to quote and start down the level side, and something in the application is what's going to jump you over to that graded side. And at that point in time, you're going to have to go back to that customer and state, well, I quoted you $42.76 for this $10,000 face amount, but because you answered these questions yes, your premium's now going to be $74.63. We see a lot of, fall off at that point in time. A lot of, that's kind of, it's almost double. You're talking about the rate you agreed to. So one thing that we're seeing a lot of successful agents do these days is, flex that offer down. So again, you quoted $42.76 for this policy. You find out, unfortunately, they, have a few health issues and now they're going to be eligible for the graded only. Take that offer and figure out what on the graded side would get them closer to that $42.76, because some insurance is better than none at this point in time. If they're dropping to the graded benefit, they're going to have some health issues that are pretty much going to knock them out of most insurance offerings. So again, I'm just going to throw this out there as an example. I don't know the exact rates on it, but maybe a $5,000 policy would take that price closer to what they agreed that they could afford at that $4,276 earlier. So don't let that, you know, just kind of drop off. Don't let that kind of what I call sticker shock to you know, cause that customer not to get any insurance coverage. Again, if they were able to afford that lower amount, try to find a graded amount that'll fit their budget a little bit better. But we are seeing a lot of success with agents who are flexing at that point in time. Okay, that's the basics of our Living Promise final expense offer there. Again, it's a very simple whole life final expense type of insurance, a few short questions on the application. It's really designed well. It fits very well in, if you're talking anything, you know, we're talking about AEP, you know, you just went through all that with a lot of those customers. This policy fits that age group almost perfectly. You know, the average age of our final expense is 63 to 65 right now. So these customers, they really need this type of insurance. You already have the leads sitting out there. Why not follow up with them and just offer them this product to go right along with that? So with that, we'll just kind of jump on into the next product that we want to talk about, our Term Life Express.
Hey, before we jump onto the Term Life Express, one thing I want to make sure I mention is that the e-app that is used for the Living Promise is absolutely simple, and so you don't actually have to sit in front of your client. You can do your electronic signature type application on the SPA e-app platform, and Sales Professional Access, which is the Mutual of Omaha business platform for producers. There's an e-app on there that is absolutely awesome. And allows you to kind of go through the application, gives you a green light as you kind of click along, that tells you you've completed everything on each one of the pages, and then you have an opportunity to submit that app and know that it's getting through clean. And very, very, very few hiccups where it comes to issuing a piece of business if you're using that e-app. So just a tip.
No, absolutely, and thanks for bringing that up. I do have a little bit about our e-app at the end there, but you know, talk about it right now as well. But yeah, it's a very simple e-app. We just enhanced our Living Promise side of the e-app, and our Term Life Express e-app will actually follow those same enhancements. But again, it's very simple, like you said, with the signature options. With Living Promise, one of the enhancements we got is even if you're not with that customer at that time, you know, you can send that email, get the signature, but the face-to-face option has improved even well, that if you're on something like you're doing it on a tablet, an iPad or something, they can actually finger sign now. So you're sitting there, you got a tablet, you got our e-app open, you get all the information in there, you just turn that to them and they sign it away. So you know, it's very simple. Address pre-fill's been added now to it, so you spend less time actually typing addresses that we know exist, and there's just a lot of little things that we're trying to do to make your guys' life out in the field a little easier to actually apply for our products. But again, it's a very, as David said, it's a very easy application. We get a lot of compliments from it, and it's just available out there in SPA, which is our agent portal that has quite a bit of information for you guys about these. So, okay, again, Term Life Express, again, it's very simple term life policy, but the Express side of it is Express underwriting. You'll also hear it referred to TLE internally if you're talking to our sales support or anybody, but it offers a variety of provisions and optional benefits that today's customers really, really want. It's designed for young families, dual income families, people with long-term debts such as mortgages. That's a very strong portion of who's applying for this right now, and just anybody with limited resources that have larger insurance needs. It's really a great product. Like I said, a lot of people could use this as kind of mortgage term insurance because of the availability of the terms that are available and the amounts. So again, it offers simplified underwriting. The face amounts are up to $300,000. There's a maximum coverage amount of $250,000 for those older ages, 51 to 65. Available terms are 10, 15, 20, and 30 years. We do offer a return of premium product option on our 20 and 30-year terms if the customer is 18 to 50. There are only 7 knockout questions on the application. There's 9 total questions, but 7 of them are knockouts. And we have a very fast turnaround time when our underwriting with this policy. Most policies are issuing within 5 days or fewer. If it's a clean app, it's definitely on that fewer side. We're seeing a lot of them go through in 2 to 3 days on this Express side with the term product.
There's a lot of business being written on this product too, so a lot of business.
Absolutely, there's a lot with that. This is one we've had for a long time. We enhanced it with some additional benefits recently, and since we've done that, it's really taken off, and we're very excited about this product and the reaction it's been getting out in the field. So, okay, it also comes, it has a lot of no-cost riders, as you see here: a living benefit rider, residential damage, and unemployment waiver of premium riders. And the common carrier death benefit. Again, no cost to the customer for those 4 riders right there. We'll talk about those here a little bit more as well. Okay, with this policy, there's only 2 underwriting classes. We have the standard non-tobacco and standard tobacco, so you're not out table rating, doing all that. It's just flat, simple. If they qualify for those 2, that's great. Again, all the underwriting we do, again, we run the Medical Information Bureau, check that bill chart again, and do a pharmaceutical check. The only thing extra we really do on this one that we didn't talk about on Living Promise is we do a motor vehicle records check if the customer is 18 to 35, and it's as needed if they're older, only if we see something that may cause us to kind of want to run that on those 36 to 65 ages. We also do a mandatory phone interview for anybody who applies for 2050 or above for those ages 18 to 50. And then again, those same 4 cause interviews. If they answer a question on the app that doesn't quite jive with what we're finding in the underwriting, we'll do a call just to clarify that information. Again, as with our other simplified products, this term has no paramed, no blood work, no urine needed. All of it's just the simple underwriting that you see here on the screen. Okay. Again, one of the great features of our Term Life Express product is this new living benefit rider that, like I said, we recently added sometime towards the end of 2016. It's automatically added to every living. Sorry about that. It's automatically added to every policy. Sorry, I had a little hiccup here over here. Okay, so again, our Term Life Express, this is the living benefit rider that we've added in 2016. It's automatically added to all these policies, no extra cost to your customer. What it is, we used to have the terminal illness rider only. Now we've added the terminal, the critical, and the chronic, all as part of this living benefit rider. And what it does, it allows the customer to accelerate the death benefit up to 80% of their initial face amount, which leaves 20% of the policy left in force as a death benefit for their loved ones. You'll notice what we mentioned on the Living Promise that death benefit, or if they accelerate, the policy ends and it's over, so all they have is the acceleration. But in this one, there is still some death benefit left to happen at the point when they pass. So again, the terminal illness rider, it's just the benefits 12 months or less life expectancy. Critical illness, it provides that benefit if they have ALS, kidney failure, life-threatening cancer, major organ failure, heart attack, or stroke. Chronic illness, just like a long-term care type policy, is they can't do 2 of 6 ADLs or severe cognitive impairment, they can accelerate some of their life insurance here. You'll see this isn't available in California and New York, but in every other state it's available. And if they buy that return of premium policy, this is also not available on that. So again, with all these, the acceleration is reduced by an interest rate and a life expectancy discount, and that takes into account just what we're going to lose with future premiums. But again, this is one of the benefits of our Term Life Express policies that I think that is really what's driving the sales of this policy. Somebody gets diagnosed with a terminal illness, you have a $120,000 policy. You can accelerate 80% of that up to the $100,000 that you can take to, quit your job if you're young enough and you're still working to spend your final months with your family, pay off some bills for your family. If it's critical illness or chronic, you're not terminal, you may need this money to pay for the care that you're going to receive. As with everybody knows, in life things change. The death benefit may not be as important as using this money while you're still alive. Every situation is different. The fact that this is just an option for the customers is what really makes this exciting. It really adds, just a little extra to just your life insurance that gives them peace of mind, not only on funeral expenses or what my family's going to get after I'm gone, but a peace of mind that I can use some of this if I need it. So really, we're really excited about this. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Just a thought and a philosophy shift that has sort of changed the way that people approach life insurance these days. With these riders, what happens is, in the past, we've all seen the selfless type of gesture that a life insurance policy offers. It basically is me buying a policy for a loved one that is taken care of when I'm gone. In this particular scenario, when you have these additional riders, what you get is somebody who's a little bit more invested, and maybe the purchase becomes a little more selfish. And I think wisely, people are making a decision that could then protect themselves in a better way in the event that they become critically or chronically sick, and have a requirement to use some of the money. They then have a little bit more selfish approach to, having purchased that life insurance policy. And it just totally changes the game for life insurance in general when you add that sort of, I may need it too, or what can I get out of it as well. And it definitely creates a lot more thought process in the sale for those people who would have only considered it for others, now can look at it for themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And like I said, it's in a way you're also kind of we get questions all the time. Do you have a long-term care rider? Can you add this? What about a cancer policy? What about this? These aren't actual policies that do the same thing as long-term care or some of those other critical illness policies, but if you look at them, they have that same look and feel. So again, you're not getting the full benefit of that full long-term care or that full this, all that, but you are getting that extra, that extra benefit that really helps. So these, like I said, I think these are really what's driving the interest in this product, and the actual additional sales we've been seeing the last year. Okay. All right. The other no-cost riders that are part of this product, that's just another win-win for your customers, are the residential damage waiver of premium rider, and that provides the insured a one-time 6-month period where we will waive their premiums if their residence receives $25,000 of damage or more. We also have the unemployment waiver premium rider. And again, that waives the insured's premium for a one-time 6-month period if they become unemployed and apply for federal or state unemployment assistance. So again, those aren't really, think about insurance things, but those are just nice to have. Those are great for a customer to have a little bit of peace of mind that, you lose your job, or you have a catastrophe, in Florida there, hurricane, something goes wrong with your house. A lot of times people are going to cancel your insurance in those situations because that's not a cost they're going to be thinking about at that point in time. So again, as a company, we'll take those two situations and waive the premiums for 6 months to get them back on their feet, to let them think about the important things that they need to take care of right away, and then pick up on their insurance where they left off. So again, just another nice to have, no extra cost to your customer. Finally, we have the common carrier death benefit provision. It's an additional death benefit worth up to the lesser of either 100% of the face amount or $250,000. So again, if they just die in a common carrier, paid fare on a airplane, bus, train type thing, you get additional death benefit. All of these are part of the policy with no additional premium. So it's a very great product, very simplified underwriting, very easy to apply for. Again, it's part of the e-application we have out there. So very simple for your customers' needs out there. We're seeing a lot of elderly customers have more of an interest in this type of insurance as well, to the point where right now you see it's only available up to 65, and that's only those lower terms. We're right now doing some research, and we're going to hopefully raise this rate, the age to, hopefully at least 70, but that's all something we're working on. But it's part of, because this is the needs out there, and we're seeing that, so we're trying to figure out what's the right place to do that. It's great for somebody right about 65 who wants maybe a 10-year term, because they're about ready. They're at that age of retirement. They want to retire, but they might have 10 years left on a mortgage. They might have a few things. So why not buy, give them peace of mind that you can retire with this, and if something were to happen, you can get the mortgage paid off, for your spouse. So there's a lot of different reasons to think of term life in the older ages, that whereas we, traditionally and typically a lot of people think term is more for that younger audience, which it absolutely is. But with this express underwriting, with the no blood, the no paramed, there's a lot more options out there for that senior market to take up something like this. Okay, those are the two products and the details we went over. Now it's just, quotes for both of these products and all of our other life insurance. They're available using, I don't know if any of you use it, the Quotes for Sales Professional app. It's available in the App Store or Google Play. You simply go out into the App Store or Google Play, search for Mutual of Omaha. You're going to get 3 options. One of them's the banking, one of them's a different, completely one altogether, but you'll download the Quotes for Sales Professional. It's available on your phone, your tablet, wherever you go. You can quickly, easily just, quote our products. It's also available to quote through our online. We have a website that you don't have to log into a SPA to actually get some quotes. Or you can actually, when you're in our Sales Professional Access, you can quote it from there as well. Both, again, these are available on the iGo app, and paper applications are available to download out there through SPA as well. So very easy ways to apply, very easy ways to quote, and honestly, very easy underwriting that can get these policies. Like I said, Living Promise, the average issue time is about 3 days, and Term Life Express, as long as everything's in good order, we're going to get them out the door in under 5. So I think that's all I have as part of my presentation, David. So if we want to, open it up to move on,
yeah,
we can.
I do have a couple of things that I want to throw in there that I think are really
Sure.
strong opportunities for people who are into marketing their business. And this is something that I have personally done, and what I think is probably, pretty decent idea, but it's only decent if you actually use it. And Mutual of Omaha, through our relationship, has been really gracious in making available a lot of different marketing tools that you, as producers with us who are contracted for Mutual of Omaha, you have access to postcards and marketing material that Mutual of Omaha will, what we do is we have you fill out a form, you send it over to us. We fire it off to Mutual of Omaha's printing area, and they pre-print your name, your business name, your address, your telephone number, and kind of your contact information on I think they'll print as many as like 5,000 postcards for you for free. In fact, our relationship provides the opportunity for Mutual of Omaha and us to kind of, foot the bill for the printing and the postcards and whatnot. And so what that does for you guys is it gives you an opportunity to sort of pick a genre of marketing, whether it's med sup, final expense, cancer, life insurance, whatever the case may be. Even the new dental product would be probably something that you can find there in their marketing materials. But beyond that, for about 2 cents a piece, I believe, if it's still the same, Jeremy, you correct me if I am mistaken, but through a relationship with, a data house on SPA, you can actually extract and purchase your own data that then you can sort of provide to a print house that would send out postcards on your behalf. And so what I did, and this is just a kind of a sales idea, is I pulled a list of motorcycle purchasers in Pinellas County who registered a motorcycle. And I pulled a list off of Mutual of Omaha's website. It cost me 2 cents a piece. I think it was 1,000 names. I had 1,000 postcards printed and, my name and everything on them. And then I sent them to those individuals on that list. I then kind of painstakingly but successfully went through and found a lot of the folks on that list in my area on Facebook, and started, sort of sending out quick notes and say, hey, just wanted to introduce myself. I sent you out this postcard, assuming that you might need some, life insurance coverage to protect your family. Perhaps it'd be a good idea we got together, and fired it out to their messenger, and just asked them, to friend me on Facebook. And sure enough, I started getting people that, responded and had an interest in writing some life insurance. But I think it's just a good idea to sort of, market in your backyard these types of ways, whether it's, new homes purchased, automobiles purchased, people who've had babies, all of the public information that's out there, you can gather it, and Mutual of Omaha makes it available for you guys to just do a great job at marketing. If you really engage the Mutual of Omaha Sales Professional Access site, there is a lot of tools in there, and I think you'll find that Mutual of Omaha does a great job at being a partner for you. So I would encourage you to sort of seek out those platforms and take a look at it. So let's go ahead and move on. Rebecca, are you out there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, hear you great. So Rebecca is an individual producing agent out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Am I correct on that?
Well, it's actually Jinx is where my office is,
Okay,
but
so
it's right next to Tulsa.
kind of a an interesting producer, and so we did a little research to find out who our top producing Mutual of Omaha agents are, and what we found was little old Rebecca out of Oklahoma is doing a killer job out there, and we thought we'd sort of get into her business to find out what it is that she's doing. So I invited her to join us today, and she's going to share some insight with us. And I appreciate you being here with us today, Rebecca.
Well, thank you, David. I really appreciate the opportunity and the compliment that I'm really killing it. It's been great.
Jeremy pulled the numbers, and you came up as one of our top producing agents. So we wanted to sort of get a feel for what you're doing. Tell me a little bit about your business and what it is that kind of makes up a day for you out there in Oklahoma.
Well, I focus mostly on the senior market, mostly people turning 65 or older, basically retiring, Medicare age. It's amazing how many people that are retiring from work that aren't sure how to transition from their work coverages to what else is out there, and that's really what I focus on. And when I go out and meet with them, I focus on medical expenses, retirement and savings, accessory products, extended care, and of course final expenses. And those are all areas that make what I do my area of focus.
And I was really kind of intrigued by, I asked Rebecca what her background is and how long she had been in the insurance business. And surprisingly, she told me she's been doing this for about 1.5 years. So if that isn't motivation for folks out there kind of who joined us, who may be kind of early on in their career, in just 1.5 years, she has done a lot of great stuff with regards to her production. But I was kind of curious, how in the heck in 1.5 years could somebody go from 0 miles an hour to 100 so quickly? And tell the folks what it is that you did for a living prior to joining the insurance industry.
I spent 28 years in the medical billing industry. I loved what I did, but I got to a point where I saw that what I was doing was not always in the best interest of my patients. But I loved what I did for, like I said, 28 years, but I needed a change, which is why I started looking at the insurance industry in general, because I was able to help people pick a better option than what they had.
So truly, you entered this business as like a professional consultant, if you will, with regards to medical expenses. And I think that's really valuable.
That's correct.
Yep. So what about marketing? What kind of, tell me a little bit about your marketing techniques and how you find your clients.
We send out lead cards, obviously. I deal a lot with lead cards and referrals. I mean, a huge portion of my business is from word of mouth from one client, referring me on, but lead cards. And then we do events, different things like that. We'll go out and speak at senior events. We'll work with senior centers, and go in and help educate in different areas, making sure that they know what other available options there are out there. Some of them are so overwhelmed by just, what is available to them or what they can do or what they can't do. So that's where, we'll go in and educate them in that area. But the lead cards are huge. And as I said, referrals are a big part of my business, because I love working with my clients, and it shows from the number of referrals that I have.
So for the agents on board, if you have not spoken to your marketer about the lead generation, possibilities for you through the contract that you've got with us with Mutual of Omaha, or if you haven't gotten a contract yet with us with Mutual of Omaha, be sure to talk to your marketer, because we do, as a sort of incentive bonus, offer the opportunity for producers to get a free lead generation mailer and stuff. So talk to your marketer about that sort of thing, and see if you can sort of get involved in that, because it seems to be working for Rebecca. So tell me about the events and how Mutual of Omaha might play into some of the events that you're doing.
Events are very, we focus on just letting people know what all's available to them. I mean, whether it be Medicare supplements, if we're focusing on that area, what the options are, letting them know, the different plans and what changes are coming up. We, obviously having, the Mutual of Omaha logo, if we are out there and having, products from them, clients seeing that Mutual of Omaha logo is big, because they'll come over and talk to us just because of the logo sometimes. Oh, I know about them. I've been listening to them forever, that kind of thing. And then, when with life insurance, obviously it's a big part of, making the getting the information out to them, because the underwriting and stuff is so, it's simplified for them.
So what is it about Mutual of Omaha? Like what are the key things that you're finding are beneficial for you and your business and the way you use the Mutual products?
Probably the two things that jump out to me right off the top are the pricing points. Obviously, it's huge. It makes it much easier when I'm looking at all the products that are available. I'm contracted with multiple companies, but when you've got a company that, like Mutual of Omaha, that has pricing that is very, very aimed at, all aspects, people that are low income, or high income, they're always looking at the overall dollar, obviously. And if for the amount that they're getting and different things like that, that's a huge point. The other thing for me is the easy access to them, whether it be for the quoting tool. I use the quoting tool constantly throughout the day. And then the using the underwriting, being able to call in with the client, it doesn't, they're not having to worry about how to get a hold of or call back into, different things like that. The other thing that's real important to me is the e-app. It makes life so much easier for the client as well as myself. I'm a big, I carry my iPad around at all times, and, being able to use that and not having to carry paper apps is big. And I travel between 5 different states basically. So I do quite a bit of traveling. So not having to carry, a ton of apps, having that e-app is very nice.
One of the things you had mentioned to me during our conversation the other day was that, the opportunity to work with a company, single company that has so much product availability. Can you kind of enlighten us on what that was to you?
Yes, that's because I'm working with the senior market and having the availability to look at the Medicare supplement or having the Medicare supplement available and having the final expense product and the dental app or services now, as well as the cancer policies, all with one company. it simplifies it for them. They're not having to go, well, I don't know, because they're so overwhelmed with, trying to remember, well, I think I have that. When I come in and meet with a client, to begin with, that maybe they've got, 7 different companies and they don't really know what all it is. It makes it very nice to be able to have one company that can cover all of those areas versus, multiple areas.
Yeah, I agree, and it's one of the things that I think is probably, besides the Mutual of Omaha name, I think that the opportunity to sort of pivot to a variety of different products depending on what the needs are for that client, especially when they're familiar with having like one of the products.
Sure.
If they've got a med sup and the opportunity to discuss a cancer plan pops up, you can keep them with Mutual of Omaha. And Mutual of Omaha is always going to be in the game where it comes to pricing. They've got a brand new dental product. I think I saw something today or yesterday come out through their distribution of information about a children's whole life plan. Maybe Jeremy can jump in on that one and correct me if I'm wrong. But the variety of products, I mean, everything from annuities to, dental plans, long-term care and so on and so forth. It's just a lot of opportunity to stay with one carrier. And it just goes back to the more policies you have with that client, the more sticky they become to you as their agent, and you become sort of the primary person that they look to when it comes to anything, for coverage from an insurance standpoint.
That's very correct. I mean, it's much easier for them to remember your name when they're, if you're able to offer them multiple things rather than just one thing. So having the variety that Mutual of Omaha offers makes it very nice.
So when we were talking the other day, you had mentioned you kind of cover a large territory. Tell us a little bit about the territory that you work and kind of, how you structure your work week.
I cover the state of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, and then Texas as well. So, as I said, I cover about 5 states, and I really,
Fair amount of driving.
I travel. I do. Yeah, my husband reminds me all the time about how many miles we're putting on the car. But I'm on the road 3 days a week. But I'm home every night, most of the time. Sometimes that's not always available, but it's been very nice. I am able to work with my clients and get wherever they need. And I've got, as I said earlier, I have referrals. I have a client in one part of Oklahoma that said, oh, well, I've got a family member that lives in Joplin and one that lives in, over there in Rogers, Arkansas. And, I'm able to help out, families because of relatives and things like that. And that makes it very nice as well.
So how does that
coverage?
How does that referral happen? Is it something you're asking, like a question, or are you guiding that referral somehow? Is there a technique that you're using? Because it seems like you're doing quite a bit of business through the referral side.
I do. I will ask and tell them if you know of anybody that, needs my help. I'd love to have you pass my name along. I usually leave an extra card for them. Sometimes, maybe I don't get it right then. Maybe I don't get that referral like as I'm walking, as I'm in the house. But I've had clients call me back, 2 or 3 days later and say, oh, I forgot to give you so-and-so's name. And, so I do ask for them. And I've had clients a year later call me. And in fact, earlier today, I went and saw a client that was from a client I'd had a year ago that still had my card, and gave them my card and referred me to them to go and do life insurance through Mutual of Omaha. So,
Yeah, that's
it makes it really nice.
So I had a kind of a mentor in a way, who was my financial planner. This is going back probably, I don't know, 20 years or something of that nature. But he had come into the house. He was a family friend and a really good producer. But he came in and finished up his job, right? So he did whatever investing we were doing, and the day he came back was just to sort of give us an update on everything going on. And I remember him sliding a form over to me. And it was just sort of a generic form that he had made himself. But what it was basically, did I do a good job for you? And he asked, hey, listen, David, are you happy with what I've done for you? And, do you think that, there are people in your life that could potentially benefit from having a sit down with me? And if so, I'd like you to honor me with the opportunity to being introduced to them. And he slid the paper over to me and asked me to write down 5 people that he could then reach out to, and asked me to reach out to them as well. And so I did. And so I honored him with, because I was so thankful he had done such a great job that I then started to introduce him to some folks that I knew that could potentially be his next client. And I suspect that's probably a really, good technique to sort of implement out there in the field. Do you do anything of that nature at all?
We do. I have a referral book. I'll be real honest. I'm not. I tend to do the business cards, and I do have the referral booklet that we'll carry around, and make sure that we get a list of those if they have them at the time. Obviously I'll have them, if you've got somebody, I'd love to take their name and number down, and help them out as well. As I said, I do get those referrals right at that time. And it's great. I saw a client, actually Friday of last week, I saw them, and he said, well, how long are you going to be in town today? And I told him, and he said, well, you need to go over and see my brother, and you need to go see my wife's best friend, and while you're there, you need to go see, and I had 3 referrals that day to go see that day.
That's
so
great.
It was nice.
So, I thank you for joining us today. I don't have a whole lot more questions, but I do have some more information that I want to share with folks on the webinar. So, Rebecca, thank you so much for sharing some insight.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yep, you're very welcome. So I wanted to just sort of let you guys know we're going to do a drawing for the Yeti cooler after the webinar. I typically get an email from Kaylee, our fantastic moderator. And by the way, Kaylee, do you have any questions out there that have popped into the chat window?
3.
3. Let's fire them off. We'll get to those, and then we'll jump into the cooler.
Okay. The first one, do you accept Social Security benefit card as a payment, pre-authorized check, or credit card?
So in case you didn't hear that, she's asking if Mutual of Omaha accepts the Social Security debit cards.
Yeah, I heard that. Actually, we do not accept the debit cards if they want to call us after the fact, they do. To initial payment, though, we do not. We only accept one-time credit cards, and since those are considered debit cards, the processor we use actually gives us a decline on those. So we take direct bill, check, that type of stuff to get the policy going, and then a one-time credit card to get the policy going, but we do not have recurring credit card to pay the policy.
Got it.
But once the policy is enforced, if they want to call us monthly and pay on that, they can use that.
And are your products available in California?
Yes, we do have the products available in California. What you saw, like the Living Promise is available out there, but like you saw in the Term Life Express, those living benefits, the chronic and critical, they're not part of the California offering. The terminal is, not the other 2.
I don't think that California is very keen with riders.
No, they are not. Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's just the state just didn't approve them for us. So.
Yep.
But the products are available there.
Next question.
Does the Term Life Express require a medical exam?
No, it does not. Yeah, see, we have a Term Life Answers, which is our fully underwritten term, which does do a medical exam, paramed, blood and urine, but the Express side, there's none of that. It's just the simple checks, the MIB, farm, build chart, that's it.
So the Express product is, by virtue of the name, it's Express. It's going to fly through the system. It's going to be a yes/no application, kind of similar to the way the final expense application is. And then the Answers product is super, super competitive. If you ever do a term life quote on a large term life quoting engine, you're going to find Mutual of Omaha is in the top 5 carriers pretty much every single time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever run a quote where Mutual of Omaha wasn't in the top 10 within, say 30 cents of the number 1 rate in almost every quote that I do. In fact, I ran 2 today that were, Mutual of Omaha, top 5 carriers within, just less than $1 nominal differences. So
yeah, absolutely. And then that's where those riders and other provisions that we have that add in that could be worth that extra 50 cents, 25 cents here or there. So something always to look into, look at those extras that come with policies.
Yeah, so the way that we're going to do the drawing, guys, here's how it's going to happen. After the webinar, I'm going to call Jeremy with a list of the producers that had been on the webinar and stuck through to the end. We're going to, give him sort of a blindfold, if you will, and ask him to draw one name out of that hat. And then that person will get a telephone call from their marketer here in our office, who then will arrange the delivery of that Yeti cooler. So it's really nice, and we're excited to be able to give that away to whoever wins it. We do have our continued series coming up over the next few days. Next week and the following week. We've got week 5 next Wednesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. again. We've got the Remembrance product as well as the AIG product line. We're going to do those next week, and then following that, we're going to do another AIG product line and a look at the Safe Harbor product from Phoenix, and then we're going to finish up our series with the Americo product. After that, we've got a bonus planned for the end of the webinar series that has yet to be announced. We're going to get to that here in a couple of days. I'll start funneling some of that stuff out either through an email blast or the LinkedIn posts I've been doing. So if you aren't following me on LinkedIn, you might want to connect there so that we can keep you abreast of all the great valuable training that we're doing. And if you haven't reached out to your marketer lately, do that so you can keep abreast of all the great marketing opportunities we've got for you. So let's see, what else do I have to cover? No, I think that's it. Rebecca, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Jeremy, as always, my friend, great job, and we really appreciate your time. We really appreciate your partnership and the support that you give to us over here at the AmeriLife Marketing Group.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure. We appreciate you, David, everything you guys do, that AmeriLife Marketing Group does, and Rebecca, thanks for talking about us and helping sell our product and all the sales you have made and are going to make. So we appreciate you. Let us know if you guys need anything, any help, work with your marketer there. They'll contact us. We truly wanted to keep this partnership going and move on into 2018 with another successful year.
So Kaylee, thank you also for moderating our webinar. And so thank you to all the producers that showed up. I am David Paul, and this is the Life After AEP webinar series. Thank you and have a great day.